The agency is the agency of the government,
Yeah.
but the tourism sector itself
Okay.
is driven more by the private sector. When you create a project or an initiative, or even if it's a tourist destination that you are building, and you have the involvement of the private sector more in it, you as a government person, you only have a period of time to spend in government. I have 4 years to spend in government. Maximum, I'm being reappointed, I spend 8 years in government. After 8 years, what happens? I leave. You understand? But the private sector, the operators will not leave the sector. They will remain in the sector.
Yeah.
So for instance, if I now come up with an initiative, a project that I want to develop, and I have, as a government, you need to provide the enabling environment, you need to provide the necessary support, and you have like maybe 40% involvement, and you have 60% or 70% involvement of the private sector. By the time you leave, the private sector that you have involved fully will still be there, and they would keep it going. You know, a typical example is, look at the Obudukatu Ranch. Look at, you know, when the governor that was there, he had a brilliant initiative, and that thing was thriving. But he left, and the initiative left with him.
It wasn't as
but
popular.
It's not as popular as it used to be. And as it is now, it's just like a dead zone. So many other heritage sites like that that have gone down the drain. So I'm doing a lot to collaborate with the private sector, because tourism can generate billions of dollars to the development of this economy. And we have to make it do that. So with the involvement of the private sector and partnership with the state government, we are going to be developing some of these tourist destinations. Away from developing the tourist destinations, we are going to be coming up with initiatives that will help develop our festivals. We are going to be encouraging investors from outside the country to come into the country to develop these tourist destinations. We are going to be, you know, rebranding the the tourism sector for better. And I know that the president is passionate about it, because he's keen about diversification. We shouldn't concentrate on oil for revenue and all that. And tourism is a key driver of the economy. Many countries have used it to revive their economy, and we too can do same for Nigeria. So we have a lot of initiatives. Part of the initiatives is we are creating something that, like I said, is storytelling, to create stories with, I'm not going to let the cats
out of the bag
yet, but this year we're going to unveil it, and the other African countries are looking forward to being a part of it. They are going to pick the template from Nigeria, because I'm not, yes, it's Nigerian Tourism Development Authority, but I'm looking beyond Nigeria. I'm looking to Africa. I think that the only way as a continent that we can rule the world is if we come together, we synergize, we collaborate, and build our tourism sector together. The world, the global, the Western world will respect us for that. But if we continue to speak in staccato, speak in isolation, we work in isolation, we may not get the best that we want from the global society. So I'm driving that course to other African countries, and we've started having that conversation to see how we can unite as African nations to build tourism beyond Nigeria to Africa. But Nigeria first is going to lead this discourse.
Lovely. Evie is the head that wears the crown, of course. And with your background in journalism, you've been engaging, in fact, you've engaged a lot of people. How do we see this rejection in your office, in your newly appointed office?
You mean in terms of engagement with people? Well, engagement is the way to go, because collaboration is the best way for development. For instance, tourism is a chain. The value chain in tourism is huge. Look at the just concluded Eyo festival. People came into Nigeria
in a mass.
And do you know what that will translate to? The economy of Lagos State and the economy of Nigeria.
Sure.
Anyone who comes into Nigeria with the intention of, as a tourist, You are going to spend your money
Yes.
to get an accommodation. That's tourism.
Mm-hmm.
You are going to move around.
Yeah.
That's because tourism itself is movement.
Mm-hmm.
You are going to spend money. You are going to buy things. You are going to spend money. So all these things are chains, value chain of tourism. And we have to put them into the right perspective. So collaboration is the in thing. For instance, I've had a conversation, I visited the Minister of Foreign Affairs, and what we're doing is we're looking at how we can use our airports, because that's the first port of call when you come into the country. So when you get there, how are you being received as a tourist into the country?
Yeah.
It's very, very important. So we are creating projects where we'll be able to train some of their staff at the different missions across the globe. Nigerian embassies across other countries. We train staff and have people there. So we're having we're having that conversation with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We've also having conversations with NITSDA, that's the National Information Technology Development agency. We're having a collaboration with them to use technology, to build and develop the tourism sector. We want to see if we can do what we call virtual reality thing, go to these tourist destinations, shoot them, put them into virtual reality, send it to all missions, and let people, when you see it, for instance, you are in America and you go to our embassy there, and they give you the virtual reality, and you look at it and you see the beauty of Nigeria, you'll be attracted. You want to come into the country. And when you come into the country, you get to the airport and you are being received warmly and you're okay with it, you will also be attracted. You understand? And from there, you probably be moved to our own agency, where we'll now take you on the bigger tour. When we take you on that bigger tour, you're going to spend your money here. And when you go back, the multiplier effect is that you are going to tell other people to come to Nigeria and see what is happening in Nigeria. So there's that collaboration. We are collaborating with as many people as possible to see how we can work together, because this is a national interest. This is for the development of the nation. So we don't have to work in silo. We don't have to work, individually. Let's work together to make this country bigger and better for it, because President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is doing his best as the president of Nigeria, and the only way that this best can reflect is for those of us who occupy positions like of handling the affairs of agencies or ministries, if we work together to make it happen. Yes, for my minister, Barrister Natu Musa Musawa, she's also doing her best within the little resources that she has to ensure that there is visibility, international visibility, that there's development in the ministry and other agencies too. So it's a collaborative effort. So I'm always ready to collaborate with as many agencies, sister agencies that we have, as many private sector individuals, organizations that we have, because Nigeria is our home. And whatever we're getting from Nigeria, we can't get it elsewhere. So if we don't build our home to the best, even if we say we are not enjoying it, but you are building it for your children, posterity will judge you rightly. You understand? So that's what we're doing. And I thank God that we're getting those in diaspora who are interested in Nigeria. We're getting collaborators who are interested. We're getting investors who are interested. I'm just like 3 months old in office, and we've launched out with Niger Flavor, which is going to be our strategy drive for the tourism sector in Nigeria, because Nigeria na vibe.
It's vibe.
Nigeria na vibe. You understand?
Note that.
So
Clock
the
it.
flavor of Nigeria, na food, na clothing, na dance, in our theater, in our everything we are putting together under that Niger Flavor thing, and it's going to shoot out big and better this year. So there's a whole lot. We're also working with traditional rulers, because I know that tourism is community based. You know, for these tourist destinations that we're talking about, heritage sites, they are in
Yes,
communities.
indigenous.
So if you don't carry them along, if you don't let them have a sense of belonging, they will just look at you that, oh, you think you can come from the
keep
federal
doing
government and keep doing it. They are the ones that will still be the ones doing
to
the
carry
other
on the
things.
torch.
So
Yes,
we are
you live.
involving traditional rulers. There are projects that we're going to kickstart this year where traditional rulers will be part of it. We want to also discover new tourist destinations and bring them up. Some are doing very well. You know, I always give instance of what's it called in Ekiti State, Ikogosi. Ikogosi is doing very well because it's private sector driven, in partnership with the state governments. And the only place that I've seen what I saw in Riyadh, Boulevard World in Riyadh, is that Ikogosi. So Ikogosi is doing very well. Olumorok too, I've been to Olumorok. Olumorok too is doing very well because there is partnership with the private sector. And so this is what we want to see how we can replicate across other heritage sites and tourist destinations for Nigeria to be better for it. We need to change the narrative about this country.
Sure.
You know, Nigeria is a blessed country. Nigeria carries grace that other nations don't carry. But we need to believe in ourselves first. We need to understand that Nigeria has this grace. And because we are Nigerians, we also carry the grace. And whatever we say with our mouths will go a long way. If you say positive things about your nation, you will also have a feel of it. If you say negative things about your nation, you will also directly or indirectly have a feel of it. So we should change the narrative. Other countries that are being visited, that are enjoying from tourism, also have their feel of challenges. They also have their insecurity challenges, security challenges and all that. So we should not over-glorify the challenges that we have in this country. We should use the positivity that we carry to overshadow the negativity, that, you know, semblance of negativity that we have. Because the president is doing his best with the security chiefs trying to address these challenges, and we know that in the not too distant future it will be addressed.
Speaking of, you said several things, and which I am it's thrilling that even having to sit with you to get all of this juicy information, I'm privileged really. But let's come to taxes now. And also, is there a particular tax for your office, or how is it funding? How is it being done?
Well, speaking about funding, because tourism is capital intensive. For countries that have thrived through tourism, the government have been fully involved, and they've spent a lot of money. And for us at NTDA, there are some levies that are part of our mandates, that are in our mandates as NTDA. For instance, that's what we call the departure levy. That people are meant to pay when you're traveling out of the country. It's called outbound tourism, that you're meant to pay. It's just a token, because this is the money that we'll spend to build the tourism asset that we have in this country. Let me just digress a little. For outbound tourism, I always give an instance of Kebbi State recently. Kebbi State is investing 10 billion naira for outbound tourism to send some of their people to Saudi Arabia on pilgrimage. Now, if you are spending 10 billion naira to send people out, allocating it to send people out to another country, that is the amount that you are contributing to the development of the economy of that country. So what we need to do from our own end is to also develop our own things so that they can come to Nigeria too and be a part of this. So we have what we call the departure levy, which we've started having conversations with NCAA, that is Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority agency, to have a conversation with them and see how best. But in all of this, we know that people are really, complaining about this tax thing, which I feel that if we get to understand it better, it's a way of also helping the economy grow. I know people are going through a lot, and they think that is another way of taking money out of them and all that, spending and all that. But For the low and average income earners, this task does not have much impact on them. The tax is more of, you earn more, you have to pay for what you earn. You understand? At least let this be your own contribution. If you are in Nigeria, you are in Nigerian and you are earning millions of naira and all that, you have a particular percentage that you should also pay back to say this is your own contribution to nation building. But if you're earning below or maybe minimum wage or average earner, I think the tax is not, it doesn't concern them because they are not meant to pay for those taxes. So if we understand it really good, we will know that, well, let's even start executing it. Let people have a good understanding. And that's why we're also going to be collaborating with, NRS, now NRS, FIRS, now NRS, to also see how we can educate more people about these taxes and see how they can understand it more and do that. So for us as NTDA, this is how we generate our own funding. For instance, we do classification of hotels. There are some levies that we collect. There are some levies that we also want to activate. There's a tourism development levy that we want to activate. All those are going to be, that we're going to use all this to develop the tourism sector. So, but it's not going to come at the same time that people are complaining about, receiving this money, receiving that money and all that. We are going to do it in a way that people are not going to feel the impact of this thing, because really, looking at the way things are going, people are really complaining about it. So, but the levies, departure levy for people traveling, outbound tourism, tourism development levy, which you are going to activate with the ministry and the president, and classification. So these are the ways that we make. But away from this, when you partner with the private sector, they bring in money, we sit down and look at it and say, okay, come and invest in this thing. When you invest and we execute it, and there is money, there can be a win-win situation whereby your investment, your returns on investment, you get it back. And it's for the good of the economy, because we are developing the economy too. For instance, now, as part of the project that I want to put in place through the agency, we want to see how we can have our own tourism city. Nigeria does not have a tourism city, So we want to see how we can partner with some people, stakeholders, investors, and all that, to see how we can have a tourism village, have a tourism city. NTDA has offices across the 6 geopolitical zones. These 6 geopolitical zones, we want to see how we can also create at the headquarters of the 6 geopolitical zones, where we have like a tourism arena where people can go to, and you have access to the tourism asset of the states within that geopolitical zone. So these are the plans that we have in place, and we have seen investors that are really, really interested to come in and contribute their quota. So development of all the tourism sector is not in the hands of the government alone. The government, the private sector, individuals, because if it gets better, we are the ones that will enjoy it. Why do we keep flying and leaving the country for outbound tourism and then contributing the little that we have earned? We are spending it to develop other countries. Why can't we develop our own country to also see how we can expand on what is it called, on inbound tourism, which people call domestic tourism here in Nigeria. My predecessors, they've tried to see how they could develop inbound tourism. For me, I also want to open up Nigeria to the international community. So some of these tourism expo, tourism markets, like in Berlin, in other, international tourism markets, we want to see how Nigeria can have participation there. So because it's when we have participation there at those tourism markets, that will be able to sell the assets to the people that will be at the tourism market, and we invite them, attract them to Nigeria, and they will get arrested. Arrested in terms of their attention will be kept here. So these are the things that we'll do. We know that it will pick up, the tourism sector will pick up, and it will pick up bigger and better. We have plans in place, and God will help us. 2026 is going to be a bigger and better year for the sector.
It is no news that we have other commissioners from different states are under your office. How do you aim to synergize that, working relationship with them in order to achieve the common goal?
So, like I said, tourism is not restricted to the states. It's not restricted to anybody. It's everybody's affairs. It's everybody's effort, and all hands must be on deck. Immediately I got into office, I've been busy with so many activities, and by the grace of God, what I want to do next is to have a stakeholders meeting, have a stakeholders forum where I can share my initiatives, where I can share my ideas with all the tourism, maybe DGs in all the states, all the tourism commissioners in all the states, and we're also looking at ways to also collaborate with some other institutions outside Nigeria, so that we can also go out of the country, to see how these things are being done outside the country, so that by the time we come back, we will know that this is what we want to replicate in Nigeria. So there is going to be a lot of stakeholders engagements, stakeholders meetings, and stakeholders summits that we'll be having this year, so that we'll be on the same page, and we know that once that we'll be on the same page, the tourism sector will be better for it. So definitely there are some of the DGs of tourism boards in states that we have started having conversations with. There are some of the commissioners, tourism commissioners, culture commissioners in states that we've also already started having conversations with, so that within the next few months, by the time we launch out, we will all work in unison, we all work in synergy for the development of the country at large. I want to be remembered for my immense, selfless, and unconditional contributions to Nigeria through the tourism sector. When I got into office, I told my staff that, look, I'm here to make history. I know that, governance is a continuum. I give kudos to my predecessors for all the DGs that have come and gone. They've done their part. And this is my own time to do my part. And I want to be remembered for the landmark achievements that I want to create in this country through the tourism sector. I want people to mention my name and say, and just attach the name to tourism and say, oh, so person came, saw, and conquered, and conquered in a way that everybody will be happy for it, because Nigerian vibe is Nigerian tourism. You have your culture, and I know you are proud of your culture. And the only way we can make other people to be proud of your culture is by you flaunting what you've got. You understand? So these are the orientation that I want to bring on board. These are the things that we want to do so that everybody can be a part of it. There are some of the projects that we'll be launching out that for you to be a part of it, some of the access for you to be a part of those projects will be on your native attire, which is helping us to promote our culture. Who says that we can't have it, even for our students, for a day that we have part of the uniforms that we create for our students to be native? Who says we can't have Adire as a uniform for our students? This is Africa. This is Nigeria. This is our own thing. And I know that I think Ghana is also doing something like that. So we can also do that to encourage our local industry, to encourage what we have. We have wonderful food. We have our cuisines are just there. We need to start talking about it. We need to start doing a whole lot. So I want to be remembered for changing the orientation of people and making sure that the country is good for tourism development, freshness in the tourism sector, and so when they call Ola Awakan, they know that his tourism development, freshness to the country is what is associated with, and a pace setter. Yeah, and like I said, that I'm a storyteller.
Yes.
I call myself a journal thespian.
Yes, I saw that on your page.
Yeah, I'm a journal thespian. I'm a journalist and a thespian, and there are some stories that I have written that are also geared towards promoting our culture. For instance, my most third play is Echoes of the Drums, which also covers the area of ecotourism. And ecotourism is an essential part of our country, of our assets in this country, which we're also focusing on this year. We're going to do a summit on ecotourism this year. I also have plays that I've written on our heroes in Nigeria. So like I said, if we begin to tell our unique stories for 365 days, we will not exhaust it, you know, and that is across the country. Yeah. Now, an instance is Osun State, Ile-Ife in Osun State. In Osun, they celebrate festivals every day of the year. It's just one day that they don't celebrate a festival, and that day is only known to the Ooni of Ife. You understand? So if Ile-Ife in Osun State can have every day of the year celebrating festivals, nice. That is just, we are not talking about the entire Osun State. We are not talking about the entire Southwest. Yes. We are not talking about the country. You get it? So we need to look inward and activate these stories that we have to the benefit of the nation.
It's my honor to be here. I'm honored to be here. Thank you so much for your time. We've just spoken with the Director General of the Nigerian Tourism Development Authority, Dr. Ola Awakan. It's been a privilege to sit with him. Catch us next time on iBrandTV Exclusive. My name is Ola Awakan. Don't go nowhere.